Hi, Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Suman Rahim here, Master of the Covenant, break of the seven seals. Let's see about audio audience. 1 second here. This is the fire. Oh, we have a little technical difficulty again. Okay, hold on, brothers and sisters. A few seconds here. Okay, let's try this again. Audio audience. Okay, this is the Black Alert segment of the Fire Zone. Welcome. Sisters and brothers, there's some controversy out there. There's so much confusion, but we know this is a time of confusion. So let me try to erase some of this confusion for you, at least in regards to myself. Because we have a lot of distractors out there, naysayers, liars, demons, you name it, time anchors. Let me be perfectly clear. I do not represent Elijah Muhammad, not in any way. I was a follower of Elijah Muhammad, as it said that the Son of Man would be. He'd be baptized by John the Baptist, but once John the Baptist was beheaded, he went and started his own ministry. See, we follow the scriptures 100% here. We don't pick and choose. So, let me make it clear to you, because you got, amen, well, you want to compare me to Elijah Muhammad, that's your business. If you got a problem with that, bye. Because there's many people, I've run off many people, lots of people, since 1990, since I broke the seals. See, have you broken the seals? See, we had the credentials, but we're not begging anybody. We're not asking anybody for any money. We're definitely not looking for followers. Anybody that's standing with the angel will tell you that. Because I'm constantly shaking that tree. I've shook off a lot of bad fruit. Because we don't want them. If I was looking for followers, I could have had lots of followers. I'm not looking for followers. I'm not looking for anybody to give me any money. They can't give me any money. No one's ever given me any money. They couldn't if they wanted to. Okay. We're here to give you the truth to get you home. And those of you that's in the way, obstructing this, we're not worried about you. Because we know you're going to be left right back here with Master. Because you're not going anywhere with us. See, we're just putting the truth out there. You can accept it or reject it. I've been doing this for over 30 years. I'm not losing any sleep over it. I'm not going hungry. I don't have high blood pressure, any of those things. Worrying about whether you're going to accept this or not. I leave that to people like Farrakhan and those folks. See, we're trying to get you home. We give the message. And we have the credentials. See? So, and brothers and sisters, those of you that understand this, I'm not telling you what to do, I won't tell you what to do. But if you're going to waste time arguing with these fools, continue. If that's up to you. I don't waste time with them. The truth is clear. These agents or demons are just total idiots. Well, he ain't teaching what Elijah. I never said I was with Elijah Muhammad. I never said I was teaching his teachings. No more than Elijah Muhammad was representing Prophet Muhammad. So you hear those say, well, he ain't saying what Prophet Muhammad said. He wasn't supposed to. If he wanted to say Prophet Muhammad said, and they would resurrect Prophet Muhammad and left him here teaching his teachings. He was for a time. He had a 1,000-year reign. That reign is over. Elijah Muhammad had a 42-year reign. That reign is over. So if you're going to hold on to the message of black man, how he live, I follow it 100%. That's from the God. Right? Well, I'm a little slack sometimes, but I follow it faithfully for years since I first came and encountered it. And Elijah did not raise me. Elijah did not fish me in, nor did any of his followers fish me in. I went looking for Elijah. Like I said, I was in the military, but I was a Bible reader, being pretty much an orphan. And I got to the chapter of Malachi, and I follow the scriptures faithfully. I'm not like some of you, because you don't even read it. And you think you know all about it. Or what somebody told you. I recognize that this person they talk about had to exist right now. I just had to find him. I didn't know nothing about the Nation of Islam. Didn't know anything about Malcolm X. Didn't know anything about Farrakhan. Didn't know about any of that. None of it. Like I said, my father had took me into the temple when I was about 12 years old. Because we lived right around the corner from Temple 25 in Newark under Minister James Shabazz. But I didn't know what that was. I used to, those you dated folks, right? Played pinball machines right across the street from it. Right across the street from it, literally. I see it every day. But I had no idea what it was. I thought it was a church. In fact, I never recall ever seeing anybody coming out of it. I thought it was a church, somebody knew what it was. I said my father took me when I was about 12 one time. Only thing I remember is that the brother, he had like a scab between his teeth, and he was the one that's talked at the time. He said that the War of Armageddon was take place in the 1970s. That's what I remember about that. And my father never took me back there again. I never went back in there again. I found later he was converting. After I came back and got my ex, and then my auntie, he was doing that. You in that stuff too, whatever. So I would look for him. I wasn't fished in. See? Because I followed the scripture faithfully. See? So it says, I'm going to read a few things here, and you make what you will of it. Because it's your future you're playing with. Because we're moving through time. We're not wasting time with you. If you can't keep up, you're left behind. Like the brother was talking about culling. He get a pretty good explanation of that. See? Because you can't make it. If you're too slow, the graveyard is full of people that couldn't keep up with time. It's full of people that couldn't keep up with time. But when you can't keep up with time, you're dead. You're in the past, and the past is dead. Right now, we live with the material of the past. See, because you can't create energy and you can't destroy it. So, or the energy that used to be the past is now the present, and we take it and we create a new reality out of that. So the past is just gone. It just doesn't exist anymore. It never will exist again. So we're moving through time. And we have the God on the team, God on scene, the God for this period of time. That's Master Prophet Muhammad. He's moving through time. And he has a high priest on the ground, right? As to coordinate between him and you, so you know how to keep up with him. So you have a sense of direction, like a landmark, GPS. Because it tells you, that's the one you have to keep up with, because he's keeping up with the God. Because it said you had to be in the Lamb's Book of Life. So when Michael comes to deliver, he's going to deliver only those in the Lamb's Book of Life. See? So those things are very clear, brothers and sisters. So if you're missing out or you confused, then some of you confused because you want to be confused. But I'm not talking about the general brothers and sisters because they're going to wake up in a minute. See, right now they're in a state of Negro butts. They're programmed, self-destruct, programmed to do whatever, not to think, do whatever Master says. See, oh, they're going to wake up in a minute because Master Muhammad's getting ready to short-circuit their programming. But all you out there, all you clowns, liars, demons, so-called Farrakhan followers, liars, see, and so forth, time anchors, claim your father's lies, Muhammad, all you liars. Because scriptures are clear. But you ain't heard it, because you out here trying to take advantage. You're trying to make merchandise off my people. And we're going to deal directly with you. And you're not going to get anywhere near the promised land. Nowhere near it. You're going to be right here. You're going to be right here. Right here. See? So we're not worried about you. We're not arguing with you. We're not pretending. We're not asking you for anything. We just appreciate you just get the hell out the way. Because everyone is lost, there's going to be blood on your hands. And the last thing you want to do is have to step up with the blood on your hands. I mean, that's worse than stepping up with a devil on your arm. You step with a devil on your arm and you got, boy, I mean, it's amazing. Have you been looking around lately? All these male Negro butts around here? Well, not just the male ones, the females. They got a devil on their arm. It's like, what's going on? What's wrong with these original sisters? Something wrong with them? See? Well, you hold on to them. Because, see, what you don't understand, you're in the judgment. You don't even understand it. You're in the judgment right now. And you walking around with the evidence. See? You walk around with the evidence. And you are the evidence. No, they have a thing in the legal system called discovery. You know, before you go try your discovery, you bring out all the. Hey, you're making it very clear who you are. So we know who you are, and it's a joke now. But your time is over. You have no idea what's about to happen. So let's go into this, and I'm going to talk about other things in a few minutes. Let's walk into this. Oh, who will win the war of Armageddon? Economic collapse. Let me talk about economic collapse for a minute. I've been talking about this for years. See? There's going to be total economic collapse in Europe in a few more days. I've been saying for years. Now they're saying, oh, there may be economic collapse because the oil situation. Because now they're saying they're totally dependent. See, you have Eastern Europe and Western Europe. Russia represents Eastern Europe, and like Germany represents Western Europe. And so Germany's like France and, you know, and Portugal and all that kind of stuff, right? Spain. And Eastern's like Poland and Ukraine, all that kind of stuff, right? Because they're like the two stages of the old Roman Empire, which was a predatory nation. All the European empires were predatory. Anyway, they're predators. Anyway, because it's Ukraine, and this is not Armageddon. This is not going to lead to Armageddon. Armageddon is on the horizon, and my calculation is going to be you're going to hear it before the year's out. But that's not it. That's part of wars and rumors of wars. Everybody's getting all discombobulated about it. That's wars and rumors of wars. No. The war's going to break out in the Middle East. Now they're telling you every day. They're getting ready to go to war in the Middle East. They're telling you every day. False Israel say they're going to attack no matter. And what Iran just told us, so if you do, we're going to tear your ass up. So, but they're going, and they're going to be and that's going to trigger the war for Armageddon. And that connects to what I'm talking about, the economic collapse. Because you see, America's already in free fall. America really actually is in default. See, they're in free fall economically. See, but they like in the old West, right? If you're the top gunslinger in town, then everybody's going to lend you money because they don't want to get shot. See? So anybody's going, they're going to give him whatever he wants. But if he mess around and gets sick or something, then that's his ass. But as long as he runs Top Gun, and America's economy is not based on gold, it's based on the gun. That's what that's what's holding it up right now, the gun. But see, that's failing. So I already recognize America. See, right now you're starting to see the evidence. And remember they gave you all that money about a year or so ago? And now all of a sudden that money's dried up because now you're paying double for what you was paying for food and everything else? See, they're playing games with you. And it's particularly playing games with you, brothers and sisters. You understand? Because they know 2020, they know exactly what that meant. And they're still hiding it from you. They know exactly what that meant. See? That script I've been telling you about 30-some years, I've been telling you about this. 16, 19, 20, and this, now Elijah Muhammad taught this also. Now, I said, we don't represent Elijah Muhammad, but we back up what he was talking about because he was a legitimate messenger of Allah. Right? But his time is past. You did not see anything about what's going on right now in Messenger of Black Man or none of that stuff. So you want to hold on to that, fine. You didn't see COVID in there, and that's a major thing. You should have saw that. And that was easy. Because 1619 to 2019 was the 40 years of the Abrahamic covenant. That was the 40 years of it. It says it'd be 40 years. We was enslaved. It was many parts to it. I'm not going to all, but economics was just, the slavery is just the economic part of it. But they keep calling slavery because they're trying to whitewash what happened to us. The slavery part is economics. That means you work with somebody, you're not paying them. See? But the Holocaust was the reality. Because we was in horror for over 400 years with these people. We're in horror right now. And we're still not free. We're not a sovereign nation. We're still not free. So all these Negroes want to try, we free. They're stupid, they're ignorant, they're not free. There's nowhere in the world you can call free unless you're a demon and you love being butt broke by master. Butt broke and you like it. Because you should be wanting to get away from him. Around what he's done to you and done to your parents, your great grandmother, so forth. And I don't want to dwell on that. I want to move on. But this war, America's already starting this. See, because the point is, they had a grip on China and everybody else, but now those countries are becoming strong, and so now America can't squeeze them anymore. See, in other words, they were the top gunslinger, but now other gunslingers are moved in. You see, so it's hard for them to keep control of the economy, because now you see the economy is under stress and is under challenge. You see, so-called Saudi Arabia, it's not owned by us. It's the House of Saud Arabia, right? Now they don't want to use the dollar, the petrodollar anymore, which would totally collapse this economy, because it exposed it, totally collapse it. See, because petrodollar was holding because it's backed up by the military, American military. So they said they want to go into China. They want to use that currency. That's why Saddam Hussein is long on the planet, because he said he wouldn't want to use my dollars anymore. He didn't want to use the petrodollar. He wanted to go and go to euro. That means America would have to pay for that oil they've been getting, because on paper they're paying for it, but in reality they're not paying for it, because they got all that oil from Iran, trillions of dollars worth of oil from Iran. They never paid a dime for it, because the money that the Shah was giving them oil, but he was putting the money back in the bank. So America had the money and the oil, and they never gave them the money back. That is, well, man, if they had this deal, they're going to end up giving Iran billions of dollars. That's Iran's money. That's not something they're giving them. That's their money they froze, and that's the whole game. See, That's why the Iranians are angry at them, because they stole their oil for years and years and years and years and years and didn't pay them a dime for it, because when the Shah left, they took the money and said, no, we ain't giving you nothing because you a terrorist nation and everything else. See, that's what's going on with that. That's why they're freezing their funds and everything else. So you're a terrorist nation. And that's the same thing they plan on doing for the House of Saud too. Because they expect that oil doesn't, it's not like a plant just keep regenerating itself. It all runs out. It's what you call a perishable item. It runs out after a while. It's not like it's recycled like water in the lake. You take it out, but it's, it comes back in rain. No, oil is used up, and after a while it's gone. Like you're gonna buy a Coke, you drink it after a while, there ain't no more Coke in it. And they expect that to happen within the next 20, 30 years. And once that happens, right, all that $1 trillion that they paid is in American banks. So at that point in time, right, when they run out, I'm not going to, I've already talked about this, I'm just going to hit on this. When it runs out, and then they come and say, oh man, y'all didn't treat women right. All the kinds, they make up something. There's some false flag, do something. Remember? Because they got one thing they're holding over their head right now. See, they're already saying that so-called Saudi Arabia was responsible for 911, even though they went after Iraq. So they're keeping it secret, so they can hold it over their head later on. So they can reveal it to the people. No, they was the one that really did it. See, right now they ain't revealing that because they want to keep getting that oil. They want to keep getting that oil. That's why they're not revealing it. See? But once the oil runs out, they say, see, they was the ones really behind 911. So who's going to be angry? Who's going to be upset when they say they're a terrorist nation and then freeze all their money? That means America didn't pay a dime for the oil. Didn't pay a dime for it. $1 trillion, right? Freeze just like they did Iran. And then what happens? And they also make sure all these countries, right? That's the biggest problem they got Iran, because Iran is automating, they're industrializing, and they won't let none of the Arab countries do that. They stopped. Iraq was trying to do it. They stopped doing Saddam Hussein. Libya, same thing. They stop them because they want, when that oil is gone, they want to have nothing else, nothing, no economy, anything. See, only thing they have is sand to sell. Nobody's buying sand, and then they come in, and that'd be the death knell to Islam, because Islam is not supported by their form of Islam, right? Is not supported by prayer rugs, prayer beads, the Quran, prayers, Ramadan. It's supported by dollars. If dollars go, then it comes on its knees. It it cannot survive once the dollars are gone, once the oil is gone. They know that. So they want to use up all the oil. That's why they close all down here in America. They don't want to use the oil here because they want them to use up all their oil. That's why they was mad at Trump, because Trump didn't get the memo. Because Trump said, no, we want to be self-sufficient. No, we don't want you to be self-sufficient. We want to use up all their oil. That's why they may get Russia, because they want Russia to be giving oil to Europe either. They want to use up all the Arab oil, all the oil in so-called Muslim oil, the Sunni oil, and Shia oil. They want to use up all that. So therefore they have so-called, you understand, Islam on its knees with nothing, and then they close all down. Cause what you gonna do then? You can't sell sand, and people starving. What are you gonna do? Man, you need to close up stop that Hajj thing. You need to close up Mecca. What are you gonna do? Throw a Quran at them? That's why you find all the so-called terrorists, all those people like Bin Laden, those people was highly educated and had money. So why was they the terrorists? Because they knew the game. And they were trying to stop it. They terrorists. You don't listen to them, they terrorists. See? And they're just telling y'all trying to rip us off. Y'all trying to destroy, transfer all our resources. And so, therefore, y'all can put a death knell just like you did to a communist Russia. That's what the story is. See? But it's not going to get that far. But that's the game. See? But when they go to war, they're going to go into war in the Middle East with Iran. Because they got to stop Iran. Iran is industrializing everything else, and that they're the only ones that are doing that. Only Sunni, only so-called Islamic countries doing it. See, and they got to put it into that. See, so they going to war over there. When they go to war, that's going to trigger the war in that's going to trigger the war in Armageddon, the war in Europe, because that's Armageddon's the war in Europe. But see, the economic collapse they talking about chapter 18 of Revelation, that's when that takes place, because that's what you see it forming right now. Because Western Europe, like I said, that's the cornerstone of Western Europe is Germany, followed by France, so forth, right? Their primary source of oil is from the Middle East or in Russia. And America's trying to stop Russia, because remember, they're trying to get them to use up all the oil in the Middle East. They're trying to make it quicker, because the faster, the more, that's what thing. I mean, you ain't paying attention? Biden's telling, y'all pump more all over there? And but he closing all down over here. But he tell, well, y'all pump more, pump more, pump more? Why don't you pump your own over here? Well, it's environmental. Well, it's an environmental problem over there too. We're still on the same planet, right? But see, you ain't paying attention. It's because you should ask up there worrying about NFL and NBA and stuff. Brother and sister, See, a time of unprecedented trouble, you have no idea what that means. And you're right in the middle of it. You're right in the judgment right now. See? So, Europe, Western Europe, is totally dependent upon oil from either Russia. It used to be totally Middle East. Now it's Russia too. They run those pipelines and all that kind of stuff, and America's trying to stop it. See, because they have their agenda. But when they go to war in the Middle East, you got to understand what's going on here. When the war in the Middle East, and when America and Britain loses that war, that's the war between Michael and his angels and Dragon and his angels. And House of Saw is the dragon. You understand that. Don't listen to Farrakhan. He has no idea. See? So they kicked out. See? Because remember, NATO and everything is going to be behind America in that war. When they kicked out, then and Shia, Iran has total control of the Middle East. Remember, the dragon also got kicked out. So they got total control of the Middle East. They control all and everything. They cut the spigot off to Western Europe. Their economy collapses because the only way they can get oil is from Russia. But now America, remember, at this time, America, as soon as they get out of the Middle East, they immediately go to war with Europe. Immediately. And that's a long story. I'm not going to get them, but they're going part of it is they're going to blame Russia because their defeat was not it. But because they can hide the truth of it, and I'm not going to go into that here. But because I said Michael and his angels, think about that one. Who is Michael? Master Farad Muhammad. So once they lose, once they're kicked out, you understand? Now, they cut the spigot off, right? And America is that's the fall of Babylon to my 18, right? Now they and immediately in war with Europe, with Russia and Europe. I mean, with Russia particularly, right? See, because they're gonna blame Russia. They're gonna have an excuse. How you lose to Iran? How you lose over there like that? So they're gonna blame Russia because Russia is supposed to be an ally, right, to Iran. So they get in fight immediately on Europe over this. See, but now Western Europe was supposed to be an ally to America. Western Europe and France and Germany, they're supposed to be NATO allies to America and otherwise, and not just NATO, but in any context, right? Now they between a rock and a hard place because now they cut off from oil, and they cut off from oil in from the Middle East. They totally cut off. They cut the spigot off, and now they cut off oil from Russia too because in America is at war with Russia. That means they have to be at war with Russia too. So they don't have reserves. And you see Biden is burning up his reserves right now, trying to prepare for this election coming up. I think it's $1 million a day from their reserves. So what happens? They got a problem. See, they need oil. The economic collapse. They need oil, and they definitely can't get from the Middle East. So they're the only place to get from Russia. Because they can't get from America, because America, first of all, they were getting their reserves, plus they can't get to them fast enough because they can't fly it over. They have to take it over by ship, which takes a while, and these people are starving by then. And then they can't put so much, the amount they put out, and plus America doesn't have that kind of reserves to do it anyway, because America's at war. They're gonna need their oil for their war machine, because they're in a life and death struggle with Russia over there. So what happens? The only choice they got is to go ally themselves with Russia to keep their economy back online, and that means they're going to betray America, and that's what happened. America's going to be betrayed, and it says all your lovers are going to abandon you. So in other words, now America's in a struggle for his life and has no friends over there, and they fight in Germany, France, Russia, the whole 9 yards. See? But that's the economic collapse they're talking about that's going to force that situation I just told you. So we're going to move on, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand it. Now I'm going to read some of this, brothers and sisters. Go on here. Now, see, for as light, you need to know the angel key for this. So those you audio people, like, so we put the link to the video version if you want to go and look at it, because you can't see this. You have to know the angel key. So this, you have to understand this. As a lightning that flashes out of one part of heaven shines to the other part of heaven. In Mark it says this way, in Luke it says the other way, east and the west. But Elijah chose the east and west one because that made sense to him, right? But you have to understand this. You have to map this into the angel key to understand it. That's if one ends of heaven, the other. So we know where mid-heaven is in heaven. So because we know that's talking about Suleiman, right? So also Son of Man is Suleiman. That's who Son of Man comes. Like Elijah told, well, it means the son of a man. Well, that was his interpretation, but the actual, he didn't break this. Remember, he didn't break the engine. He didn't break the seals, so he don't understand what he's saying, right? But we ain't taking anything from him. He used what he did to do what he needed to do. What he needed to do, right? So he was talking mostly from the sealed Bible, right? See, because the Master Farmer said he got the lesson nearly correct. So those you think that he was perfect, you better read those lessons again. See. Also, the Son of Man will be in his day. See, okay. But listen to this carefully. But first he must suffer many things and be rejected by his generation. Now, is that Master Muhammad? He suffered many things? He was rejected by his generation? That's bullshit. It never happened to him. Nothing close. Not even close. They said Son of Man was thrown in. Well, he said he was in jail for a little while, they said that. But he said he would be homeless. He was never homeless. I mean, so you want to listen to these crazy, be fine. We're going to tell you the truth here. See? But first he must suffer many things and be rejected by his generation. And as was in days of Noah, it also be in days of Son of Man. See? So it tells you. They drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage, and on that day Noah entered the ark, the flood came and drowned them all, so destroyed them all. So that didn't happen back in the 30s. That's happening now. We're in that situation right now. See? So if you want to go with that, go with your bad understanding, fine. See? But we only want people, right? Because the angel is like a test. You see? Because only those that minds can deal with that on that level, those are the only ones we're going to take out of here. Only ones we're going to take out of here. Because that's your true mind here. Your mind had to be given back. Read Daniel. Your mind had to return to give, the eagle wings had to be plucked off you. That's American Britain, right? And your mind had to return to you. This is your mind. If your mind doesn't return to you, like I said, you have a thorough knowledge of yourself. If you don't have that, you're not going anywhere. That's what Master Muhammad said, and that's what Elijah Muhammad taught. So if you don't understand, fine. That means you ain't mentally strong enough to get out here. Because thought is pressure. And this reality is a result of the pressure waves of the Kavi, or the Chaldeans, or the Caucasians, or whatever you want to call them, right? See? And your thought wave, the pressure that you produce by your thought has to be greater than theirs, right? Because greater pressure overcomes lesser pressure. You have to be greater than theirs to get past, right, the escape this false reality. If you can't escape it, you're going to be caught in it. That's the gravitational vortex. If you can't escape it, you're going to be grabbing, if you can't escape it, you're going to be dragged down there. We don't want you. Because we don't want you over there with this bullshit. We don't want you over there with it. See? So that's a test. So if you can't step up to it, right? But most of our people are going to step up to it. over 144,000. We know definitely going to step up to it. See, it's a calling to see if your mind's ready to go to the move. See, time is not what's on your watch. If your watch stopped, does time stop? That's not time. That's a measurement. Time is transform energy from one form to another. That's what time is. If all the energy in the universe just stops, time stops. You have to convert energy from one form to another. That's time. And that's the God. He's changed. He's in the forefront right now, bringing a new reality in off of this reality. You have to destroy it. Like when you build a building, right? If there's a building there already, you have to destroy that building and take the material from that building and build your new building. And that's what's happening. See, this reality is being destroyed, but the energy from it would be used to create a new reality. See, so, and likewise, also in the days of Lot, they ate, they drank, and they bought. Okay, but on the day that Lot and Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. So even so will be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. So that was back in the 30s. That's happening now. When he's revealed. Which means revealed. He's here. It means when he's manifest. Everybody, so in other words, it's clear. See, like I said, when he's lifted up, everybody, when everybody it was revealed that in other words, he's identified universally. I'll put it like that. See, and then this further. And in that day, remember, this is when the sun revealed. This is when the lightning strike, he's on the housetop, and his goods are in the house. Let him not come down to take them away. Likewise, the one in the field, let him not turn back. Remember Lot's wife. Whoever seeks to save life will lose it. Whoever loses life will preserve it. I tell you, and that night there will be two men in one bed, and one will be taken, and another will be left. Two women be ground together, one will be taken, one will be left. Two men will be in the field, one will be taken, one will be left. But that's talking about the abomination of desolation. That's about to happen. See? Flee. That's happened back in the 20s. See? So if you want to hold on to that false idea, fine, hold on to it. We're not going to try to convince you anything, brothers and sisters, and we're sure not going to try to lift you. We're not going to physically lift you. We're going to give you information. And that information, right, will give you, it's like, we'll take you to the gym. Now, if you sit there and stare, then fine, right? That's your business. But if you get in there and start working out, then you get the benefit. But we're not going to work out for you, and we're not going to force you to work out. Okay? We're not even charging anything for being in the gym. See? Let's look at this again. Wherefore, if you shall say to you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth, behold, he is in the secret chamber, believe not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, shine even to the west, and you have to understand, angel key to understand that, east and the west, because that's a vertical, right? Because it starts down there with the Shi'ar all the way to the top of the elect is. It says, and Son of Man represent by the sun there. See, Son of Man comes from Suleiman. Suleiman is Latin. Su-oman, son of man, right? For as the lightning comes out of the east, shine even the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For wherever the carcass is, the eagles we gather together. Now, let's talk about this right here. Now, again, you have to send angel key, because down here, right, the carcass represents the Christian blacks, the demons, see? And that's where they're at war. Because that's where all the eagles are. Remember, this represents eagles. Western Europe, Eastern Europe, right? And false Israel and America. They're all gathered together where the carcass is. That's what it's trying to tell you. See? So, so at that point, this is where Suleiman comes, and that's where it says in Daniel, with Ancient of Days, with nappy hair, wool-like hair. Pharaoh can't have anything like that. See? Because he's a devil. He's a devil. You say, how he's a devil? Well, he's a devil. See? A devil, he's a devil. So in other words, but if you're a devil and your mother's other than a devil, that makes you a demon. See? Because his father's a devil. Google him. Google his bio. His father's a devil. Percival Clark. He's a devil. See? I mean, he's a devil. But since his mother was black, That makes him a demon, because now he's undercover. He's an undercover devil. He's an undercover devil. See, I got a name for him, right? Terror butts. That's another story I talk about another time. He's a devil. He said he would be. He would be the son of perdition. They talk about son of perdition, that's him. They try to say the Jews are the son of perdition. No, he's the son of perdition. It's a singular person. See, he was sitting in the seat of Elijah in the temple, not in the synagogue. Declaring himself as God. We got the tape saying, where he said, I'm a young God. See? He would deceive the people for 42 years. Same one, Aaron. Aaron misled the people for 42 years. And then Joshua come, Joshua and Jesus, same name, just different languages. And what they do, they get rid of him and all his followers. They slaughter them all. Okay. And immediately after tribulation, those days, so was that tribulation back there in the 30s? Immediately, didn't say later, true in those days, shall the sun be dark, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, the powers of heaven shall be shaken. See? Immediately. Now what do they mean powers of heaven to be shaken? See? Because you understand angel key heavens represents the Middle East. So who has power in the Middle East right now? The power in the Middle East is held by America, Britain, and false Israel. But they be shaken, broken. They be cast out. I would say men's hearts be failing in fear of those things coming upon the earth. If you understand angel key, that means the European countries, right? Because the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Now how would they know if they hear a mortal person on the earth that their powers of heaven will be shaken? They're in fear because they're having heart attacks because of it. How can they know that? If it's way beyond some old dimension, way beyond some old stars, some metaphysics stuff. Come on, brothers and sisters. See? And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. What is that? Then shall all the tribes of earth mourn. See, European countries, they'll see the Son of Man come in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. He said, I was angry with great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Brothers and sisters, those of you studying angel, you don't know what that means. I'm not going to go into all the details because I was trying to explain all this to you. But we have people, if you want to learn angel, we have people that's well qualified to teach you the angel. We have contact information, right? At the end of this, and audio, we have contact information, right? So you contact them, right? And they'll be glad to teach you the angel. Well qualified to get you started, right? But here's some more. But on that day and hour knoweth no man, not angels of heaven, but Father only. So only Master Father Muhammad knows exactly what's going to happen. See, I know the angel. I broke the seals. I can tell you within a year. I can't tell you exact day and time. Only he knows that because he's make the move. He's the ones, right? It says war broke out in heaven. He's the one that initiates this whole thing. He's the one that's going to short circuit your programming. See? So now you wake up. See? Because you've been programmed to not ask any questions, do whatever Master tell you to do. But as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For the days that were before the flood, they eat and drink the same things before, and entered the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. Also the coming Son of Man and took them all away, so shall also the coming of man be. Then shall two, well, that's talked about that earlier, about two in the field and whatever. So I tell you, it was circumstances around that. That wasn't circumstances around the 1920s, 1930s when Master Muhammad was here. See? So, but, well, the scriptures are corrupt. Well, if they're corrupt, then why even read them at all? If the scriptures are corrupt, then why mess with it all? In other words, if you got a steak, right, and somebody's talking to you and they start spitting, you know, sometimes people talking, and you see it fall on your steak, you won't eat that steak anymore? Why you, if it's corrupt, why you mess with it? So they use what the Quran says. Those who believe in part of the book and disbelieve in another, so they're cursed. So you accept or reject it. The scriptures not, the translations are bad. especially King James, because it's interpretive. In other words, they read it, they put their understanding, and they wrote down what they incorporate their understanding into. So, and understand what's bad, that means the whole scripture is bad. That's what you have the King James interpretive version. And the transliteral, where they don't put their opinions in the translation. They're just taking change. See a word, change word. See a word, change word. And the Jehovah's Witness has the best one, and it's free. It's online. You can download it. Okay, this is about, you can read this. This is chapter 18, economic collapse. I'm not going to it because there's a lot of code and stuff, riddles within that I'm not going to talk about, right? So I think that's it there. Okay, hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm gonna go into something else here in a minute. I want to talk about something else here in a minute, then we'll call this a day. We'll call it a day. Let's look at this. I want to talk about the Holocaust. The Holocaust. That's what I want to talk about for a minute, brothers and sisters. The Holocaust. See? Let me bring it up right here real quick. See, where's it at? Where's that? Oh, there you go. Okay. One second. I'm just going to talk about this a little bit, brothers and sisters, because we need to be very clear about what's happening here. See, because we got these people. First, I need to know that. First, before I go any further, let's understand what a demon is. A demon. First, basic biology, brothers and sisters. The seed is the life. The egg just living material, right, that the seed can use to develop itself. So if you want to use a basic, most fundamental way of looking at that, you put a seed in the ground is the egg, and the egg, nothing in that ground is going to change the nature of that seed. Nothing. But if the ground is rich and good, then the seed will grow up strong and healthy and, right, and sweet and whatever. If it's bad, then the tree may grow up weak and deformed and bitter. The fruit be better. But it's not going to change the nature. It's not going to change an apple seed and tree, apple seed into an orange seed. Same thing. The sperm is alive. It's a living thing. But the egg is living material. It's not a living thing. It's a living. So you are the sperm. You're moving. You're conscious to the degree a sperm can be conscious. You understand? So you understand biological fact, because that's something that's universally understood, but somehow it get confused over here with us. With us, it's get confusing for some reason. See, because they say, "Whoa, if you black, that means you ain't white, and so you all lump you all together." No, because that's totally wrong. They don't even apply that fact. They don't apply it any place in the world but here. In Arabia, right? They take slaves and they still do some slave trading, but they did quite a bit of it back in the past. And if an Arab had a slave from Africa, those children, his children, they were considered Arabs. I don't care how black they were. You remember Prince Sultan or whatever his name was, that was over here when they had Gulf War and everything. What was his name? How dark he was? He was considered Arab. He was a prince. But over here, see, if they take and rape with black women, you're a nigger. And they put your ass back out in the field. And they was the first deadbeat dads. Because they had raped the woman, that's their own child, and they put him back out there and let you take care of him. You couldn't take care of him anyway because you had nothing. And they'd be out there, except in the case where they had the house Negroes, and that was their own children. You see? But they were still niggers to them. That was their own children. That's how evil these people are. So if they don't care about their own children, what do they think they care about you? You understand biological fact? Because that's very important. Because that's you understand what a demon is. Half devil, half man. That's what a demon is. That means that they're children. They're black-faced children. They're skin folk, but they ain't kinfolk. and doing so-called slavery, right, was they call slave whitewasher. See, slavery is an economic system. Slavery is an economic system. That was the economic part of it. When you work somebody, don't pay them, that's slavery. See, but abuse and rape and sodomy, that's not slavery. See, they whitewash it, think, oh man, you're a slave. No, that's not slavery. Went through the Holocaust. Went through 40 years of horror. It was number horror. 40 years of horror with these people. The Holocaust. See, that's the physical side of it. The social side of it. They tell you, well, you was free. Well, if you was free, then why they have to have a social, what they call in the 60s, right? Civil rights. See? Because under the Holocaust, see, you had none. So you can still be a slave and still have rights. You just don't pay you for your work. So you better get that straight in your head, see? Because we didn't, that would, oh, you went to slavery. No, read it, look left into slavery. See if it includes rape, murder, hanging, sodomy. See if it includes that. See if that's part of slavery. It ain't. It's not in the definition. See? So they say that's the whitewash. Are you slaves? No, it was more than slaves. That was a Holocaust. We was under total horror with these people. Total horror. It was a life of horror. So get that through your head. You understand? See? And the other thing about it is, the other part of it is that gets to, well, then we'll see, we'll just see in a minute. The governmental part. It's like when you come out of prison, right? So in prison, they don't, they may work, they don't pay anything, but then you got a social side where they beat you and all that kind of stuff. Then they got the governmental side, because once they let you out of prison, right, then you're free to go. You leave the prison. So if we was free, how come we still here? You see prisoners still in, that once they release, they're still back in the prison, and they still wearing the prison name. Oh, my prison name was AB 357. And you out in the street now, you're free. My name is AB 357. Say, what's wrong with you? Wait now. And same thing, the whole world looks at you and talking about, you show up. I mean, I know because my uncle. See? He's about as dark as you can get. See? But his name was McConnell. And they had this, he was a machinist. And they had this special guild and stuff to keep people out, right? And so when he go, when the union sent him out, they expecting a white guy to show up. And when he shows up, he's really, he's dark, black. And they was, oh, what that? They weren't expecting that. See? So we walking around with those names, but they weren't names. They were brands. But you walk around proudly now. If you're a demon, that is your name. That's your daddy's name. That's your name. But if you original, right? Then that was your name based on the master you was under control of. So if your master was Master Richardson, your name was James. You was James Richardson. They traded you to Master Blackstone. You became James Blackstone. Those are not names, bro. And since they're brands, like you brand cattle. Remember, it was three-fish human. Wasn't even human. Those are brands. Sometimes they even actually physically brand you. You can be real, brother and sister. You walk around, well, hold on to them then. Because the name you have right now, if it's Richardson or Black or West or Washington or whatever, it's probably an indication of the last slave master that you was under. And you walk around with those names? And after what they did to us? What's wrong with you? But you're going to be straightened out in a minute. See? And when we was going through this Holocaust, not anyone from you were, oh man, them poor Ukrainians, man, or them poor people on the border, man, or them poor false Israel over there in the Middle East. Nobody gave a damn about you. No nation stepped up or try to interfere anything with what's going on you for 400 years when you was going through the Holocaust. Not anyone. And even now, even then, even in the 50s, 60s, no one stood up for you at all, said one damn thing. Neither church, Catholic Church, Sunnism, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism. It was Christian that was actually inflicted on you, but now you big Christian was inflicted on, put you to the Holocaust. They was under the cross. They the ones stole this country and destroyed all its people. Destroyed this country, killed his people, and destroyed us. They said the devils would go for us to kill, steal, and destroy. What's so hard about to understand? And everybody gave them, and you are all crying, oh man, I sent some money. What about your own people? You got that demon Oprah, right? She's talking about, she's sending money over South Africa for to build their schools. They got their own damn country, fool. They got their own country, got their own land, they got their own government. Well, you need to send them something. What about the kids in Harlem? Because she's a damn demon. She don't care about you. That's how she got rich, putting down black men. That's how she got rich. Anybody stolen shows, and that's what that was all about. Putting down black men. That's how she got rich. Care a damn thing about you. And you don't care about yourself because you're a Negro, but programmed for self-destruction. Programmed for self-destruction. See, you're not supposed to ask any question, anything. Because if you ask questions, all of a sudden your program gets kind of mixed up. You start acting erratic and stuff. Then you got to send a terror robot, which is the demons, to check you out. What's wrong with them? See? Check his programming. See if you have to reboot him or something. See, because if they can't get you back online, then they deactivate you. Terror butts. That's the demons. Because they're the ones causing terror amongst us. Amongst us. It ain't black on black crime. It's the terror butts against the Negro butts. They're the ones doing that killing up in Chicago and everything else. That's because it tells you, the scripture tells you two types of people. There's loving people, there's faithful people, and you got the hateful and the killers and everything else. It's two different natures. And they got their devil's father's natures. And they're the ones causing all these gangs, all the kinds of Crips and all this. They're the ones causing all that stuff. It ain't us. See? And they bringing terror in our neighborhoods. And then they say, that's black on black, they're killing each other. No. That's your children, your black-faced children, what they call them, Oreos, Uncle Toms, whatever, right? They're your children attacking our children. See? And it's your children, there's guys on TV, look like fools, clowns, broke, pimps, whores, and everything else. That's your children. It ain't us. And you got Farrakhan, he's the accuser. Y'all number evil, you're wicked. You're sinful. He's the only holy one. He's a damn demon himself. Just Google it. Google Farrakhan's bio. His father's name is Purple Clock's the devil. That means he's a devil. People that care a damn thing about you crying, oh man, you people, like you doing so well. So I'm just going to go through some of this real quick, right? Like I said, the Holocaust. I'm going to show a few pictures here, brothers and sisters. This is real. This is real what you're seeing right here. This is real. Hold on. Get myself out the way here. This is real. That's one of the punishments. Put you in there and turn the heat up and boil you to death. And put a pitchfork in there to keep you from coming back out. That's what these people was doing to us. The Holocaust. They want to call it slavery. It's a whitewash. Slavery was the economic part of it. Raping our women constantly. They had you ever watch that movie Braveheart? It was about the nobles had the right to sleep with the wife the first night. They had, in other words, take her virginity away. That was their right. I forgot what they call it, right? And they were doing the same thing here. They were doing the same thing here, right? Hey Sarah, what master? It's time. Time for what, master? Time to bring Emily. Emily's about 9 years old, maybe 8 years old, maybe younger than that. Okay, bring Emily. He's sitting back there all naked, everything else. Okay, Sarah, show Emily what I lack. So she got to go down and do all this creepy, sick things that this devil wants done while Emily's watching. See, because she got to teach Emily what to do. So after she finished doing her that freaky dinky thing, right? That freak once. Now, because she demonstrate, so now, okay, Emily, now you go and see what Mama did. Now you got to do the same thing. Now I'm gonna watch you. Then she got to sit and watch her daughter do the freaky dinky for this freak creep. And then she said, "Oh, honey, you got to do it this way. You got to do this way, baby. You got to do this way." These people are sick. Holocaust, 40 years of that madness. Talking about slavery. See, they want to call it. See, look at these. And that was slavery? You know, they had slavery over in other parts of the world. Nothing like this. There's never been slavery like this any place in the world. There's slavery, like I said, in the Middle East, right? And they slave, but when they had the child, right, the child was whoever the man, that was their child. And they treated them just like the rest of their children. And they had nothing like this. Nothing like this anywhere in the world. And now the false Israel kind of time they had true Abraham. Like they ain't never went through anything like this. That's the truth. The Abraham covenant that's belonged to us. They guilty of identity theft. Look at this. So you stop calling it slavery. That was the economic part. That's capitalism. That's capitalism at its best. Low overhead, maximum profit. That's exactly what that was. That slavery. That was slavery part of it. But the Holocaust is this. It had nothing to do with slavery. Stop calling it slavery. That's a whitewash. Like the CRT. See, you're trying to whitewash that one. Oh, it's a theory. What happens? Ain't no damn. That ain't no theory. What's theoretical about that? About burning people, hanging them, raping them. What's theoretical about that? The only thing theoretical about that is, right, is that they're human. You know? That might be theory. Because the fact is, they ain't. That's why I call them beasts. They treat us like that because that's where beasts would treat people. If they was angels, they would treat us like angels. They're beasts, they treat us like beasts. You better get it right, brothers and sisters. And these people are not angels. Or they look, see how white and pretty we are? See, our people originally, when they first came in contact, they thought they was lepers. They were scared of them. That's why they had to create demons, send them in. You don't know the whole, one day I'll talk about the whole history of that. See? It says, Satan compares an angel like. That's what he did. He said, know them by their works. Now they're going to try to say, oh, well, that was in the past. Well, is that what God said? He said he was going to judge you individually, or is he going to judge a nation that did this? Ain't you part of the nation? And especially you got a double slam, because you call yourself a democracy. That means you respond for every damn thing your country did. You voting, you respond for everything your country did. So don't try to talk your way out, because you can't. That's why the plague came in 1690 to 2019, the 40 years, and then the plague would come in that kill the firstborn immediately. That came in tight 20 right on time. Came right on time. 2020 came right on time. Plague killed the firstborn. That means the elderly, and it would pass over us. And they said, oh no, it's killing y'all black folks like flies. They don't talk about that anymore, do they? Because the World Health Organization, WHO, came out a paper about a month or so ago, maybe a couple of months, saying that black Africa was not being affected by this plague. Haiti wasn't being affected. Any place where black folks come, their main country, they wasn't affected by it. See? But they hid that too. But just Google it. It's a fact. Everything I say, don't take my word for anything I say. Just go check it out. See, it was passing over us, but it's just devastating them. Now, if false Israel over there, if they had been immune to it, then they would have quoted that prophecy. See, they would have quoted that prophecy then. Oh man, see, it's getting everybody, but it's not getting them. But they're getting the worst of it. See? Look here. Sick. Raping the black women right there, beating one of them before kissing them and all. Sick people. Look at that. Sick people. Beasts. That's why the Bible calls them beasts. See? The Holocaust. That's what it was. See? It wasn't no slavery. Holocaust. It was slavery. That was the economic part of it. Look at that. Look, okay. Boy, boy. Okay, brothers and sisters. I'm gonna pretty much leave it there. The Holocaust. I would say, brothers and sisters, wake up, but you're gonna wake up in a minute because your program is about to be short-circuited. It took 64 years to turn you into Negro butts. You went in Kunta Kinte, you came out Toby. 64 years, it ain't your fault. And you're not sinful people. Don't listen to that damn Farrakhan. You're sinful. No, his latest thing is, y'all evil. The devil just brought out what was in you. said, white folk just brought out all the evil that was in you. No, he wasn't evil in us. See, he's a liar because his demon's a liar. He's no good. That's why he disemboweled. He's shitting and pissing in the bag. Because read Malachi closely. Read it again. It says after Elijah, there will be the messenger of the covenant who will come to Elijah's temple. So I ain't talking about Elijah, who comes to Elijah's temple. But there will be another one there that was cursed. Because it says, will a man rob God? It says, you have robbed this entire nation. Who could that be? Couldn't be Master Muhammad. Ain't the devil? Who's robbed the entire nation? That's Farrakhan. He's gotten rich off of black folks. He ain't produced a damn thing. Where's he producing 42 years? Nothing. He's done all these great things. He hasn't done nothing. I was with Elijah Muhammad from 1775, and Farrakhan ain't done anything. It's like, you take the highest Empire State Building or Sears Tower, and you tear it down, and you build a little college, and I rebuilt it. He ain't built a damn thing. He's a liar. Or he's built for himself with his expensive glass and his expensive dresses he wears and stuff. And he better lift that dress up because it's funky under it. Because he's pissing shit in the bag. They try to make a virtue out of it. Remember that thing when Aretha Franklin passed away? People don't know about that story, but she was associated with Elijah Muhammad. I was there during the time, but rumor was she had converted secretly. I don't know. I'm not saying one way or the other. But she insisted that Nation of Islam, somebody represented for Nation of Islam, be at her funeral. That's why Farrakhan was there. He sat right next to Clinton. See, they try to make his sickness, his perversion, right? His foulness a virtue. Because everybody, they said, the whole time, man, everybody was going to bury him. He didn't move. He just sat right there. Why? Because he was shitting and pissing in the bag and he had to move. Try to make his sick a virtue. He's sick. And they're trying to say he's Jesus and all this stuff. He hasn't done a damn thing for black folks, nothing. Scientology and everything. He's making money off of that. He gets a piece of the action because now you got to be in there. You got to go to Scientology. You got to pay for that. You ain't getting it free, and he gets a piece of the action. Brothers and sisters. Anyway, so get it straight. The Holocaust, and you're not sinful, right? That you were thrown into a cesspool, right? 40 years, right? That means shit. We covered with shit. Me too. But it be washed off. Master Muhammad came and washed off, and he gave me the soap. That's what said, messenger of the covenant would come full of soap, right? To finish the job. See? But they are full of shit. That's a difference. See? Because you can't wash shit off of it. Because if you can't clean up shit. So they full of shit. They made of shit. So it was, when you put water to them, it just washed them away. But brothers and sisters, nothing wrong with you. If you understand the angel, it says, blessed are those who keep their garments. If you understand what that meant, that means because we still here in America, all things, sins and everything that we participate in, whatever, is on them. Because we're under their law and their control. All other nations broke free of them, but we're still under their control. So therefore, all the things that they claim, they impute to us, is on them. That's why it says, come out of our people, come out of her, because they're about to be destroyed. Then free fall mode right now. Then the process of being destroyed. Look around you. How do you think it's going to be? Have you heard any good news the last 4 or 5 years? Especially since 2000. Have you heard any, 2020? You heard any good news since then? And all these clowns that call their prophets and everything, they ran to a brick wall with COVID-19 like everybody else. The only one that's telling you about was myself. It's right there, 1619 or 2019. And 2020 will be a first plague that will kill the firstborn. The first of 10 plagues. The 9 plagues is the war that's going to take place. The war of Armageddon is the other 9 plagues. And those plagues are designed to get us the hell out of here. We're going back home, brothers and sisters. But we went through a horror. 40 years of horror with these people. the most wicked people ever. And now they're under judgment. See? That's why come out of her. Come out of her, my people. So you don't be suffer, because some of you are going to stay here because you still hold on. The demon's going to stay here. That's no story altogether. I'm not going to go into that, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand. The Holocaust, slavery was just the economic part of it. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So let me go ahead and close out here, brothers and sisters. Okay, to my audio audience, thanks for listening. This is the Black Alert segment of Fire Zone. Fire Zone out. And to my video audience, thanks for listening. Assalamu alaikum.